Hello and welcome to Nightline. I'm Brendan Wong. The top stories. More than 1 million Malaysians still do not have My Card. And Tabung Haji mulls over plan to separate account for Hajj and investments. Good morning. The Home Minister disclosed that some 1.43 million Malaysians aged 12 and above still do not have the My Card. Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, in expressing the government's concern over the matter, said the development could hamper the Election Commission EC's voter registration exercise for those 18 and above, which needs to be completed before being enforced in 2021. Tan Sri Muhyiddin said among the factors contributing to the population not possessing the My Card include remote locations and forgetfulness in doing the needful.
Memohon kerjasama kepada mereka-mereka yang disebutkan tadi tidak lagi ada kad pengenalan walaupun sudah usia sampai 90 tahun. Yang muda satu hal lah, tapi yang dah tua pun tak ada IC. Saya tak tahu macam mana mereka boleh hidup kalau tak ada kad pengenalan. Sedangkan kita mempunyai jabatan pendaftaran negara, cawangannya beratus di seluruh negara. Kalau tak boleh dia keluar, mereka ni akan kita temui di kawasan masing-masing.
The Home Minister was speaking to the media after officiating the National Registration Day in Putrajaya on Wednesday. Statistics by the National Registration Department, NRD, showed that 45,588 Malaysians between the ages of 13 and 17 do not have the My Card, whereas for those 18 to 80, it is 970,377 people. 81 to 90, 110,537 people, and 91 years, 302,694 people. Tan Sri Muhyiddin also hoped that the EC and the NRD would launch a massive campaign, especially with regard to updating information and address changes of citizens who have moved to another place. This is to enable 18-year-olds to be registered automatically as eligible voters. In another development, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said the Security Offences Special Measures Act SOSMA is still needed to fight terrorist activities in Malaysia. Without SOSMA, he believes perpetrators will be free from the law and could cause trouble for the country.
Kalau ikut undang-undang sedia ada tidak memadai, kerana cara mereka bertindak ini luar batas undang-undang dan boleh menimbulkan banyak masalah pada negara.
He stressed that the Pakatan Harapan coalition never promised to abolish SOSMA in the election manifesto. Instead, several chapters and sections in the act said to be draconian and against human rights were supposed to be reviewed. Tan Sri Muhyiddin also said the first draft of the amendment has already been brought to the cabinet but needs to be fine-tuned. He hopes the amendment will be tabled in Parliament early next year. The government will set up the National Digital Inclusive Council to focus on creating digital economy income opportunities for the people. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the council, to be headed by him, will comprise representatives from more than 10 ministries, with the Malaysian Digital Economy Corporate MDEC as its secretariat. Speaking to reporters after chairing the 30th Multimedia Super Corridor MSC Malaysia Implementation Council meeting at Perdana Putra, Tun Dr. Mahathir said the government must focus on getting its execution right and achieve results in the nearest possible time.
Executed wisely, our digital economy growth will bring benefits to every Malaysian through the massive opportunities presented by today's fourth industrial revolution.
At the press conference, Tun Dr. Mahathir recalled his good old times on MSC and regarded now he was reviving something that he himself started a long time ago. Since its establishment in 1996, he said the MSC had created 183,000 high-value jobs at almost 3,000 companies with a total value of almost 500 billion ringgit. The Prime Minister said he was proud to note that Malaysia's local tech champions were now recognized as global players. Aerodyne, for example, which specializes in artificial intelligence-driven drone-based technology, was ranked number 3 in the world. Also, he said, 3 companies were listed in Forbes Asia's 200 Best Under a Billion 2019. Earlier in his speech, when launching the Yayasan Sejahtera Community Development Fund, the Prime Minister gave sound advice to the urban poor to engage in a business, however small it may be, to generate a better income for a better life. The Prime Minister said such people classified under the B40 group, or the bottom 40% of households in terms of income, can then improve their socio-economic status and unshackle themselves from urban poverty.
A country is also not developed if some of its population have to struggle on a daily basis to eke out a living and having their children facing malnutrition. Shortfalls in the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals have to be rapidly addressed, failing which Malaysia's aspiration to join the ranks of developed nations will be severely compromised.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said it is a phenomenon the world over, where people migrate from the rural to the urban areas in the hope of finding suitable jobs and a better income. He said the government has to educate them on the need to expand and grow their businesses so that they will emerge from poverty. Speaking to the media after the launching, Tun Dr. Mahathir said students at institutions of higher learning are free to express their views, but it should be done at suitable places. And in order to avoid chaos, he said, such students need to follow procedures, rules and regulations made by their universities. Tun Dr. Mahathir noted that when students are expressing their views, it should not interrupt official ceremonies.
Well, we have certain procedures and rules and regulations. We need to follow those rules, otherwise there will be chaos. What would happen if the whole of that convocation is laced with these people and their protest demonstration? They can demonstrate, but there are other places to do that. But don't disturb a proper ceremony by trying to show that you have certain views. You can show those views elsewhere.
However, the Prime Minister said the government should not interfere too much with the university in managing the situation, as they are free to make their own decisions. And this just in. A Malaysian was killed when the express bus he was carrying carrying Perbadanan from Malaysia overturned in Afyon Karahisar in Turkey on Wednesday. According to Malaysian High Commission in Turkey, the bus with 35 passengers was on its way to Cappadocia from Pamukkale when it lost control due to slippery road. 10 other passengers were injured in the incident. Tabung Haji TH is studying the possibility of separating the needs of their depositors based on the purpose of their investments. Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Fuzia Saleh, said this was because its depositors comprise those who save up for the purpose of performing the Hajj as well as for investment.
Unjuran ke hadapan ialah mungkin tabung haji akan melihat kepada kategori pendeposit yang berbeza. Ya, ini unjuran yang sedang dikaji oleh tabung haji. Kerana pendeposit yang menyimpan semata-mata untuk pergi haji mempunyai keperluan yang berbeza berbanding dengan pendeposit yang menyimpan untuk keuntungan. Jadi perlu kita balancekan kedua-duanya dan memastikan bahawa kedua-duanya mendapat pematlamat mereka menyimpan di tabung haji.
Speaking at the Dewan Rakyat, Fuzia said TH's financial position remained strong, with its assets valued above its liabilities by 1.8 billion ringgit as of June. She said this was in comparison to December 31st, 2018, where its assets stood at 1 billion ringgit compared to its liabilities. It was reported last year that the Pilgrimage Fund was at a risk of mass withdrawals after its recovery and restructuring working plan showed that 1.3% of depositors accounted for half of its deposits. One single depositor was also found to have 190 million ringgit in the fund. Deposits in TH had been attractive due to the high rate of dividends it previously paid out that far outstripped fixed deposit rates offered at commercial banks. A background check by the Bukit Aman police on a Twitter account who posted insulting tweets aimed at the Prime Minister and the Inspector General of Police revealed that the account holder is residing overseas. Federal CID Chief Datuk Huzir Mohamad said police will thus seek the assistance of Interpol to trace the individual known as Navin Pillay. Datuk Huzir said the account holder, a 38-year-old technician who goes by the handle @Navin8, has been living overseas since 2007 while his family lives in the Klang Valley.
Kita akan dapat bantuan untuk minta bantuan kepada Interpol. Sekiranya dia masih berada di luar negara dan kita akan ambil tindakan. Di mana saja dia berada, we will look for him. Okay, kita akan cari kesan dia dan kita ambil tindakan. Sebenarnya adalah Navin anak lelaki Mohandas. Navin anak lelaki Mohandas. We believe to be him lah. We believe to be him. Kalau bukan dia pun yang buat ni, kalau Navin ni dengar, ada come forward.
Datuk Huzir said that the man has no political background and has a clean record. On Monday, Navin is alleged to have posted an insulting caption with a picture of Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Bador on Twitter. Customs seized more than R1 million worth of smuggled alcoholic drinks. Details after this breather. Welcome back. The Kuala Lumpur High Court was told that One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB, signed a joint venture JV agreement with Petro Saudi Holdings Cayman Limited and not Petro Saudi International PSI, which it had been in talks with. Former 1MDB Chief Executive Officer Dato' Shahrul Azral Ibrahim Halmi said he signed the document in 2009 despite the different name. Testifying before Justice Colin Lawrence Sequeira on Wednesday, Dato' Shahrul said 1MDB invested $1 billion into the joint venture. He explained that the business proposal involved PSI putting up $2 billion in assets and 1MDB coming up with $1 billion. Dato' Shahrul said he was convinced from the onset that the deal was a government-to-government arrangement which had come about due to the close relationship between Datuk Sri Najib and the Saudi royal family. Lead counsel Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah then pointed out that Petro Saudi Holdings Cayman was different from Petro Saudi International, where the latter clearly did not mention the word Cayman at all. The lawyer then questioned Dato' Shahrul on why he did not seek an opinion from Wong & Partners, the law firm that represented 1MDB in the transaction. Dato' Shahrul replied that he did not do so as Tang was already working on the transaction. However, the witness agreed that he could have got Wong & Partners to write to him to confirm the company. The hearing before Justice Colin Lawrence Sequeira continues on Thursday. Kedah Customs foiled an attempt to import beer worth 1.01 million ringgit through false declaration via Port Klang last Thursday. Its director, Dato' Johari Alifia, said a check was conducted on 2 containers which led to the discovery of the seizure of over 100,000 cans of beer. It was believed the seized items are meant for the local market, and the modus operandi was to declare the items as non-liquor, such as air conditioning parts. The total duties and taxes of the beer amounted to 742,000 ringgit. The containers were believed to have originated from Japan, and investigations on the importers are still ongoing under the Customs Act. In Kuala Lumpur, Datuk Sri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak will be summoned to Bukit Aman this week to assist in police investigation into his alleged defamatory statement against Teluk Intan Member of Parliament Ngak Ko Ming. Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department Director Datuk Huzir Mohamad said the matter had been conveyed to the former Prime Minister. He said police would also be calling Nga once again to have his statement recorded. On September the 29th, a statement insulting the Sultan of Selangor was posted on Facebook via Nga Koming's superfans page, allegedly asking the Chinese to protest against the Sultan, who had decreed bilingual road signs in Selangor be removed. Over in Putrajaya, the Court of Appeal on Wednesday upheld the death sentence of a tow truck driver, Kung Swee Kwan, for murdering Arab-Malaysian bank AmBank founder Hussain Ahmad Najadi. A three-member bench comprising Datuk Yaakob Matsam, Datuk Sabaria Muhammad Yusuf and P. Ravindran also affirmed the 18-year jail term on Kung for attempting to murder Najadi's wife, Chong Mei Kun, aged 55. In unanimously dismissing Kung's appeal against his conviction and sentence for both charges, Justice Yaakob, who led the bench, ruled that evidence was overwhelming against Kung. The Johor Bahru Sessions Court on Wednesday has set new trial dates for the case of 3 company directors and a lorry driver charged with disposing scheduled waste in Sungai Kim Kim in early March this year. The 4 individuals are lorry driver and Maridasan, company directors Wong Ching Chow, Yap Yok Liang and Sim Wei Der. Judge 1 Muhammad Norisham 1 Yaakob fixed December 3rd, 4th and 5th after listening to the request by counsel Hussein Othman, who said that 3 other lawyers representing the 4 defendants were attending a hearing in the High Court on Wednesday. Police arrest 51 people in Catalan protest. Stay tuned. We begin our foreign segment in Hong Kong, where embattled leader Carrie Lam's annual policy address ended in chaos Wednesday as pro-democracy lawmakers repeatedly disrupted her speech, causing an unprecedented cancellation of such a speech in the legislature of the Chinese-ruled city. The failure to deliver her policy address inside the Legislative Council marked a slap in the face for the chief executive, who has been grappling with anti-government protests for 5 months. The policy address, the first time since July, has been seen as a key opportunity for Lam to begin to remedy some of the perceived factors behind the unrest, such as widespread inequality and limited access to public housing. However, the chief executive was quickly forced to abandon his speech after repeated jeers and interruption from lawmakers. This prompted the Legislative Council President to suspend the session, and Lam later delivered her annual address through a pre-recorded speech, which was made available at the LegCo website instead. In the pre-recorded address, Lam announced measures aimed at easing a housing shortage, including increasing the number of housing projects. The chief executive also stressed that calls for Hong Kong's independence would not be tolerated. In Spain, police have arrested 51 people across Catalonia overnight after violent protests over the jailing of 9 separatist leaders for their role in the failed 2017 independence bid. According to Spain's Interior Ministry, the national and regional police arrested 29 people in the province of Barcelona, 14 in Tarragona province and 8 in Lleida. Adding to that, the ministry said 72 police officers were injured in the clashes, including several who suffered broken bones. The protests erupted after the Supreme Court on Monday issued heavy prison sentences of between 9 and 13 years to Catalan separatist leaders convicted of sedition over the 2017 referendum. Spain's Supreme Court has also issued a European arrest warrant for Catalonia's former leader, Charles Puigdemont, who lives in self-imposed exile in Belgium. Hockey action from the 2019 Sultan of Johor Cup. Don't go away. Sports hockey, the 2019 Sultan of Johor Cup. Malaysia finally recorded their first win of the tournament after beating defending champions Great Britain 1-0 in their fourth match on Wednesday. The only goal of the game came in the 46th minute when Muhammad Muhibbuddin Muharram converted a penalty corner to give Malaysia a 1-0 lead. Stung by the solitary goal, Great Britain fought back in the remaining period but failed to penetrate the Malaysian goal. The victory saw the junior squad having 4 points on the table, with Great Britain having 9 points so far. Nur Saiful Zaini Nasiruddin's boys will next face Japan on Friday. And on to cycling, the 2019 Tour of Peninsula. Pro torch rider Rohan Doploy claimed the second stage on Wednesday after winning the 157.4-kilometer race from Kuala Terengganu to Chukai Kemaman. The South African claimed the checkered flag after pipping Amir Hussein Jamshidian Besefidi from Fulan Mubarakeh Sapahan and national rider Muhammad Harith Saleh from Terengganu Inc. TSG cycling team to the finish line in the bunch sprint. However, despite the result, first stage winner Elchin Asadov remained the yellow jersey holder as the overall leader. Muhammad Nur Aiman Muhammad Zarif from Sapura cycling team grabbed the red jersey as king of the hill, while another local rider, Muhammad Daniel Haikal Edi Suhaidi, retained the white jersey as the best Asian rider. Third stage will commence on Thursday from Kuantan to Karak Pahang, covering 172.7 kilometers. In the US, NASA has unveiled the 2 next-generation spacesuits that will replace the bulky shuttle aerosuits, providing better comfort, improved mobility, and greater flexibility, and can also withstand temperatures ranging from -250 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's take a look. I'm Brendan Wong. Thank you for watching, and take care.